Greetings, demons, and welcome to Warhammer Weekly, episode 87. So, we don't have as much to talk about this time around as we did last week, though there is still some pretty interesting stuff to go over. No pickups, of course, this time around. So, let's get straight into the topics.
Not the leader of a cult, RabbitWithAxe.
So, starting off, of course, in the 40k universe, we have more information about the upcoming Emperor's Children, and this time around it is some new head sculpts, which actually, honestly, look really, really good. I don't love, unhelmeted heads very often. This one looks really cool with, the elongated mouth and just, it's very Emperor's Children. It's very Noise Marine. It just kind of lines up with that sort of visualization. And to be fair, all three of these helmets really do fill that sort of void that we've been having of not having proper Noise Marines, which I'm really appreciating that they are actually going that route with these helmets. And yeah, in general, they all look pretty good. I think they're pretty simplistic. They don't have as much, ornate filigree or anything like that as we've seen on Thousand Sons or whatever, but they definitely look good. The details are there, and I'm just excited to see the full look for Emperor's Children in, 10th edition. So yeah, overall, there's not much else to say about them. It's really cool that we are getting essentially weekly updates at this point about the Emperor's Children coming, and that's all I can really say about it. I'm very excited to see the full reveal of what hopefully will be Noise Marines as a default standardized unit. And yeah, that's really all I can say about it. Really cool to see more information about them. Can't wait for more. And yeah, there we go. Going back to the Horus Heresy for some Heresy Thursday action, we have a brand new caster of runes. So obviously this is your Spirits of Fenris master for your Space Wolves. Totally not a Psycho, we promise, and definitely not Chaos. Definitely not a Chaos Worshipper or anything like that. Definitely not. That's ridiculous. But yeah, this guy looks excellent. I really do like when they go a little bit for something that's so common, which is a Psycho within the Space Marines, and they take it a different direction. And obviously, most of the Space Marine factions, most of the different chapters and everything, have their own specific thing. And yeah, when it comes to the caster of runes, I think this is one of the more specialized versions of that idea, and this guy looks excellent. I quite like the helmetless head, the facial hair and the way the hair is done. Just overall, I think it's a very nice look. It's not as barbaric as we usually see from Space Wars, which I appreciate. Something a bit different. But yeah, of course, my main thing is helmets, and this is great. It's like a wolf. I like it. It's like a robot wolf, which I really do appreciate that kind of design philosophy. The actual armor in general, covered in runes and stuff like that, which is very, very nice to see. The weapons are interesting. So obviously you have the actual rune staff, which has a wolf skull on it, which is a bit weird, but we'll take it. And covered in various other runes chained to it, which is very, very nice. Overall, it's not the most interesting of weapons, but it's still cool. And then we also have a pretty generic axe, so it does have some very nice little design in it, which is appreciated. It's not just plain. And yeah, overall, there's not much to say about this guy. He's very much just, a modern Space Marine, but I do quite like it. I think this is a really nice model. So it's the kind of thing that I could easily, modify and put into my Death Watch, which I do appreciate. Something that just gives a bit of Space Wolf flavor to my army. And yeah, overall, I like the little bit of cloth, the little bit of fur. Just overall, there's a lot of nice details on here. That it's not excessive, which I appreciate. It's minimalist, but it's still enough to show that this is a special guy. This is someone of importance, and I really do like that kind of thing when it comes to your more higher ranking Space Marines, especially when they are one that you'll only really have one of in your army. It makes a lot of sense that they'll do it like this, and yeah, overall, I really do enjoy it. But yeah, there's not much else to say about it, unfortunately. It is definitely a good unit. And yeah, there we go. That's Heresy Thursday this week. So we don't actually have anything for AOS or Old World, but that does leave us with some Middle-earth news, and unfortunately there's not really much to go over. Really, it's just one new character. We have Hera, the Bride of Death, and unfortunately, like with so many of these characters, I'm not too familiar. She does line up with some of the previous reveals like Helm and Thorn and Shankenrot even. So there's plenty of lining up of the characters here, but yeah, she looks nice. I quite like the way that her dress is all scratched up and torn and damaged. It gives a nice little dimension to the actual character. The shield with the little sun symbol on it is very interesting, but for the most part, like, she's in a nice little battle pose, but for the most part, she's pretty boring, you know. She hasn't got much going on other than, as I say, the ragged cloak, the ragged dress, and, you know, that's not a complaint by any means. I actually quite like the way it's painted as well, the various purples, the little bit of blue and gold mixed in as well. It's overall very nice aesthetic. I do quite like it, but yeah, as a character that I don't really recognise or have any sort of connection to, she's alright, she looks fine. Just nothing I'm overly interested in, but I'm sure those that do know this character and, you know, actually care about Middle-earth in, like, a proper way will be very interested in this one, and at the end of the day, very nice character, regardless of, you know, me liking it or not. And just worth noting, this will be in Forge World resin. We do expect that from, you know, pretty much all Middle-earth stuff nowadays, but just in case you were wondering, it is going to be Forge World. So, yeah, that is what we have for Middle-earth battle strategy game. That's not what it's called, strategy battle game. There we go. Yeah, Hera the Bride of Death. So finally, that leaves us with the Rumour Engine for the 26th of November, the final Rumour Engine of November, and it gives us an engine. That's what it is. That's what I'm seeing in front of me. It is clearly like some sort of ramshackle sort of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a new vehicle for orcs. Beyond that, I don't really know what else to say. It's an engine. It's got some armaments around it, some, you know, various pipes and whatever around it. It's potentially a turbine, so it might be even a flyer. It's hard to say for sure, but yeah, interesting design overall. It does look, as I say, very ramshackle, kind of like it is thrown together with a bunch of different parts. That might just be down to the paint work that's been done. It kind of makes the pipes below it look a little bit rusted, potentially. But I guess we'll find out when the actual model gets revealed. But yeah, definitely interesting, something to look out for. And that is what we have for the Rumour Engine. So, on that note, that is going to be it for this video. So, as I said at the start, it is a short week in terms of content. Not many reveals were happening throughout this week, but still some good stuff. I'm really excited about the Emperor's Children returning, and I think overall, like, everything that we've seen this week has been nice. Like, it's been good stuff, and, like, honestly, I like, especially after a week of having so much like we did last week, it's nice to have a quieter week. I hope that we don't have more quiet weeks after this. I hope next week goes back to being a little bit busier. But honestly, like, it's nice to have a little bit of variety in terms of how busy the weeks are and everything. I don't like to complain about that kind of stuff unless we have week after week of like 2 or 3 reveals, because then it just gets tiring, gets a bit boring. But as is, I'm quite happy with everything. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be from me, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new into it, and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Otherwise, comment below your thoughts and feelings on any of the topics discussed today, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but we'll survive. I just wanna take